Welcome back to Jack Gaming, and thanks for watching. We're going to open some packs of Dungeons and Dragons Forgotten Realms. These are going to be the set boosters, so there's going to be a few less cards, but we should get a little bit better quality. So with that said, let's see what we get. Oh, by the way, thanks for watching. We have an art card of a fancy art. It's the Windseeker. It's by Pietro Potter. I'm sorry if I butchered your name. It's number 74 out of 81. Then we have a swamp. Something that's unique with these is that they have a little story. If you collect all the swamp cards, it'll tell you a quick story that deals with the swamps. Our fancy art card, Goblin Glavineer, costs 1 red for a Goblin Warrior. Has haste. Whenever it becomes blocked, it deals 1 damage to a target creature that's blocking it. Has a 1/1 power toughness. Alright. Then we have the Scion of Sanyaga that costs 2 and a blue. Tiefling Shaman that has flash. It has Cone of Cold. So when it enters the battlefield, choose a target creature an opponent controls and then roll a d20. 1 through 9, tap that creature. 10 through 20, tap that creature. It doesn't untap during the controller's untap step. Has a 2/1 body. We have a Soul Knife Spy. Costs 2 and a blue for an elf rogue. Whenever it deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. Has a 3/2 body. Charm Sleep costs 1 and 2 blue for an enchantment. Enchanted creature and then when it enters the battlefield, tap the enchanted creature. Enchanted creature doesn't untap during the controller's untap step. We have 50 feet of rope. Costs 1. It's an artifact. We get to climb over, tap it. Target wall can't block this turn. Tie it up. Pay 3. Tap it. Target creature doesn't untap during the controller's next untap step. Or it could be repel down. Costs 4. Tap it. Venture into the dungeon. Activate this ability only as a sorcery. We have the Cloister's Gargoyle. Costs 2 and a white for a gargoyle. When it enters the battlefield, venture into a dungeon. As long as you completed a dungeon, it has +3/+0 and flying. It's a 0/4 body. Barrun the Cloud Ondorer costs 2, a white and a black for a legendary creature. It's a dwarf cleric. When it enters the battlefield, venture into the dungeon. Whenever it attacks, return up to 1 target card with a converted mana cost of 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield if you completed a dungeon. It has a 3/3 power toughness. You find a cursed idol, costs 1 and a green for a sorcery. Choose 1, smash it, destroy a target artifact. Lift the curse, destroy a target enchantment. Steal its eyes, create a treasure token, and venture into the dungeon. Then we have the Cave of the Frost Dragon. If you control 2 or more other lands, Cave of the Frost Dragon enters tapped. Tap, add a white. Pay 4 and a white. Cave for the Frost Dragon becomes a 3/4 body. Becomes a 3/4 white dragon creature with flying until end of turn. It's still a land. Then we have a Mind Flayer that costs 3 and 2 blue for a whore. Dominate monster. When Mind Flayer enters the battlefield, you gain control of a target creature as long as you control Mind Flayer. It's a 3/3 body. Our foilie is Death Priest of Makar, costs 2 and 2 black. It is a Tiefling cleric. Skeletons, vampires, and dragons you control get +1/+1 at the beginning of your end step. If a creature died this turn, you may pay 1. If you do, create a 1/1 black skeleton token creature. Has a 2/2 body. This is something kind of unique. We have a Gatekeeper of Malachar. Costs 2 black. Is a vampire warrior. Has a kicker cost of 1 black, so we can pay an additional black. And it'll be able to have what the effect is for its kicker cost. When Gatekeeper of Malachar enters the battlefield, if it was kit, target player sacrifices a creature. Has a 2/2 power toughness. That wasn't bad, but I think we could do a little bit better. Let's see what we get out of the next one. We got a goblin with the stat lines and everything. This is something you can use in your campaign at home if you play D&D. There's the fancy art for it. We're tossing a mountain at it. We have a Rhyme Shield Frost Giant. Costs 3 and 2 blue for a giant warrior that has Ward 3. Has a 4/5 power and toughness. A Boreal Pegasus costs 3 and a blue. It's a Pegasus. When it enters the battlefield, target creature gets +1/+1 until end of turn, and it also has flying. Good old classic Plummet. Costs 1 in the green. Destroy a target creature with flying. Ranger's Longbow costs 1 in the green for an equipment. Equipped creature has +2/+2 and has reach. Has a equip cost of 3. We got Sudden Insight, costs 4 and 2 blue. For an instant, draw a card for each different mana value among the non-land pyramids in your graveyard. Gretchen, the Torch Willow, costs a blue and a green. For a legendary creature that's a halfling druid. Pay 2, a blue and a green, draw a card. You may put a land card from your hand onto the battlefield. Has a 0/4 body. Then we're going to class because we have the Druid class. Costs 1 and a green. Whenever a land enters on the battlefield under your control, you gain 1 life. And then we can bring it up to level 2. You may play an additional land each of your turns. Or we can bring it up to level 3 if we already did it to level 2. And when it becomes level 3, target land you control becomes a creature with a power and toughness. When it becomes level 3, target land you control becomes a creature with a haste, and this creature has a power and toughness equal to the number of lands you control, and it's still a land. Woo! We have a Rust Monster that costs us a red and 2 for a beast with first strike. Sacrifice an artifact, Rust Monster gets +2/+0 until end of turn. Has a 2/1 body. We have a cleric class that costs us 1 white. And if you would gain 1 life this turn, or if you would gain life this turn, you gain that much +1. Or we could bring it up to level 2, is whenever you gain life, put a +1/+1 counter on a target creature you control. And if we did level 2, we could do level 3 that costs us 1 white and 4. Return a target creature from our graveyard to the battlefield. You gain life equal to its toughness. Then we have the Deck of Many Things. Costs us 5. It's a legendary artifact. Pay 2, tap it, roll a d20, and subtract the number of cards in your hand. If the results are 0 or less, discard your hand. 1 through 9, we get to return a card random from our graveyard to our hand. 10 through 19, you get to draw 2 cards. And then if we get 20, we get to put a target creature card from our graveyard onto the battlefield under your control. You get to put a target creature card from any graveyard onto the battlefield. and it's under your control. When the creature dies, its opponent loses the game. Then our foil is a Grim Wanderer. Costs 1 and a black for a Goblin Warlock. Has flash, has tragic backstory. Casts this spell only if a creature died this turn. Has a 5/3 body. And then the final card of that pack is a Fairy Dragon. Alright. Seems like we're warming up a little bit. The deck of many things was kind of a little bit nice. Let's find out what we get out of the third pack. There's an art card. That card is Fly by Lai Statewall. Again, I'm sorry if I butchered your name. Horrible with names. It's number 56 out of 81. Then we have an island. Our fancy art is a pixie guide. Costs us 1 and a blue for a fairy who is flying. Grant an advantage. If you would roll 1 or more dice instead, roll that many dice plus 1 and ignore the lowest roll. Talk about rolling dice. We have Predator's Fireball. Costs us 2 red and 3. It's an instant. It does 5 damage to any target creature or planeswalker. Roll a d20. 1 through 9, it deals damage to 2 damage to each player. 10 through 20, it deals 2 damage to each opponent. Spiked Pit Traps costs 1 for an artifact that has flash. Pay 5, tap it, sacrifice Spit Traps, and then roll a d20. 1 through 9, it deals 5 damage to that creature. 10 through 20, it deals 5 damage to that creature and put a treasure token. Contact the other plane costs 3 and a blue for an instant. Roll a d20. 1 through 9, draw 2 cards. 10 through 19, scry 2 and then draw 2 cards. And then if we roll a 20, scry 3 cards and draw 3 cards. And then the good old classic, You Meet in a Tavern. Costs us 2 green and 2. It's a sorcery. Choose 1. Form a party. Look at the top 5 cards of your library and reveal any number of creature cards from among them and put them into your hand. Put the rest of them at the bottom of your library in random order. Or start a brawl. Creatures you control get +2/+2 until end of turn. The good old classic way that they make a campaign start. The Grim Wanderer. We opened that pack, and the last pack is a shiny. Helma Pashar Ruin Seeker costs 1, a blue, and a white. It's a legendary creature that's a human wizard. Room abilities of a dungeon you own trigger an additional time. Has a 2/3 body. The Guard Ranger costs 4 and a green for a human elf ranger. Has reach. And when it enters the battlefield, you get to create a 2/2 green wolf creature. Has a 4/1 body. Vampire Spawn costs 2 and a black for a vampire. When it enters the battlefield, each opponent loses 2 life and you gain 2 life. Has a 2/3 body. Triumphant Adventurer costs a black and a white for a human knight. Has Death Touch. As long as it's your turn, Triumphant Adventurer has first strike. Whenever it attacks, venture into a dungeon. Has a 1/1 body. And our foil is Intrepid Outlander. Costs us 1 and a green for Orc Ranger. Has reach, and then it also has pack tactics. So if it attacked with creatures with a total power of toughness of at least 6 or greater, you get to venture into a dungeon. Has a 2/3 body. Talking about a dungeon, we have the Dungeon of the Mad Mage. Alright, that was the packs. What did you think of them? Put it down in the comments below. Thank you for watching, but if you're liking the content that we're putting out, like, subscribe, and hit that little bell icon to be notified about any of our future content. Until next time, we'll see you later.